as I was saying, the reptilian Orions would return to collect the babies from the human females they had inseminated for their hybrid program. Amongst the varied abilities of the reptilians was that of being capable of stopping time. Rather a useful trick, it must be said, the manipulation of time, during which the reptilians would take the female aboard a spacecraft, or the facilities on bases that exist on the Earth's moon, and the baby would there be harvested.
I understand that time is merely an agreed upon idea in creation only. I seem to have the ability to stop time also. See my watch here? It has stopped. Seems to be a typical situation. Every time I buy a watch, it ceases to function. Maybe you can't see my watch as it's strapped to my hind leg. Maybe that's why it stopped. I keep sitting on it accidentally.
Might I recommend better watches then, or have them attached to a more sensible part of your badly designed body vehicle? Where was I? Ah, yes. The reptilians would permit the human female a brief period of interaction with the baby. Then it would be placed in suspended animation. The facilities where these suspended younglings are stored is quite the sight to behold. Rows and levels of them. The encasements holding the babies would look very much like glass jars.
So, you have all these hybrids available. What fate would befall them? I'm assuming they aren't to remain in their jars for eternity. I know it's rather easy to do, to have jars of stuff and forget all about them. You ought to see my kitchen cupboards. I have some tins dating back years. You know when tins are old, when there's a depiction of a pharaoh on the side of one advertising it.
Yes, I know. I remember the last time you offered me a meal from a tin. When the container tastes better than the contents, it's time to seek nutrition from an alternative source. But anyway, generally, the fate of the babies were as slaves predominantly. Every time a function or job needed performing, a baby would be removed and allowed to grow to full term, and then could carry out this duty.
What a lazy species you are, Rex. Rather than carry out your own work, you'd rather grow a slave and have them do it on your behalf. You'd prefer to sit around and wait, 15 to 20 years for the baby to become an adult, and then make you cups of tea? You would be quite the dehydrated species. For the duration of time you would have to wait. I trust you, at least, are capable of doing a little sweeping up on your moon base. A broom must surely be easier to fathom out than the flying of your spacecraft.
Well, no sense having slaves and doing all the work yourself. Obviously, their functions extended beyond just making beverages, and we didn't have to wait as long as you think. The baby's growth was greatly accelerated. In fact, they would reach adulthood in a few years, and you certainly cannot speak of cleanliness. Besides your selection of dubious and outdated foodstuffs, the amount of fur you molt and leave laying around the studio beggars belief. One pile of fluff was so large I thought it was you. I even placed the microphone before it to begin today's dialogue. I should have realized, as for a change, I was able to speak beyond a few lines before being interrupted with your general nonsensical responses.
Well, how rude. My responses seem perfectly fine and keep the conversation flowing. True, I might go off on a few tangents. I was about to get into the whole idea of Christmas. Slightly off topic, I know, but well, you reptilians did create all religions, so I did wonder if you partook of your own creations. Do you get reptilians dressed up as Santa Claus and creeping down the exhaust pipes of your spacecraft loaded with presents? Ah, maybe that's where the legend of the Grinch came from. He is always depicted as green after all, and is just as grumpy as you.